Hey YouTube, it's me, Kirby, and this is Kirby Q. Nothing goes better on a cold winter's day than either a bowl of chili, a nice soup, or stew. I had a taste of, one of my Facebook friends, Raz, I don't know his last, I know his last name, I can't pronounce his last name, I'm not going to, just Raz, I call him Raz. And he and I met a couple of years ago when I first started Competition Barbecue. And he had posted a picture of his seafood gumbo. And it looked some kind of good. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to make me some gumbo. And now usually when I do it, I just go ahead and buy the Zatarain's gumbo mix and go from there. But this time I thought I'd do all the hard work of making a roux and all the other good stuff, seafood stock to add to my gumbo. So this is my attempt at making a seafood gumbo and how it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead, as Dan from Smoky Goodness used to say, I'm going to step back into the Wayback Machine and show you how I did all my prep and everything like that and how it turned out. Then I'm going to come back at the end of the video and give you my lesson learned. Alright YouTube, stay tuned and check this out. Well, to get started with my, first I'm going to go ahead and create my stock, and this is how I'm going to do it today. I'm going to go ahead and take the aromatics and throw them in a little bit of oil and I'm going to saute these just a little bit. And I have some carrots, onions, garlic, celery that's in here. I'm just going to, again, just saute these just a little bit. Alright, I'll be back after a while. Okay YouTube, it's been about 5 minutes. So what I want to do now is go ahead. I have some shrimp shells, crab shells that I saved up over the course of last year. And so I'm going to go ahead and dump those into here. As you can see, they were still frozen. And now I'm just going to give these a quick stir. Let them begin to thaw down. Alright. Some lobster shell from some lobster we had. I cooked last year. Alright, so I'm going to give this about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'll be back. Alright YouTube, it's been about 10 minutes since I put those frozen shells in. Just going to give it about a good stir. Everything seems to have loosened up a little. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is add some water. Okay, that was about a gallon of water. To that I'm going to add a tablespoon of Slap Ya Mama and a tablespoon and a half of Old Bay. Going to add 4 bay leaves. I think it's really about, because they all crushed up. Give it a good stir. And then this last ingredient is going to be experimental. I saw it on E How, so let's give it a try. I'm going to add some tomato paste to it. Okay, now that I got that tomato paste, I'm just going to go ahead and stir it until the tomato paste is well incorporated. Okay, looks like it is. Alright, from this point on, there's nothing but time just to let it simmer. So I'm going to move this over to another burner and let it do its thing. From what I saw on the internet, it's supposed to take about an hour or so for this to become the stock. And so in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my roux ready. Alright, so y'all stay tuned. Right quick, sorry. I'm going to add some lemon juice to it. I don't have no fresh lemons, but I'm going to add about 2 capfuls, maybe 3 capfuls of lemon juice to it. Alright YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and get started with making my roux. What I have here is 1 cup of vegetable oil that I'm adding to my cast iron pot. Skillet. Gonna let that get hot, and when it is, I'll be back.
Shut up and sit down.
Okay, YouTube, my oil is about 250 degrees, so I'm gonna just go ahead and start. Okay, so I'm gonna crank it down. Just begin to stir in 1 cup of flour. Take it down a little because it's browning too fast. So I'm just going to continue to stir this until it gets to the right color. And everything I've read said this is the crucial part. I'm going to turn the heat down. Turn it down just a little bit more. Using the whisk. Alright, so you got what to do. I'm going to go ahead and keep stirring, and I'll be back when I think it's right, or if I messed it up. Okay, YouTube, hopefully what's coming through is a sort of a chocolatey color to the roux, and I believe that's the point I want to take it to. I don't know if it needs to go any darker, but I think it's a whole lot darker than when I first started. And I don't know if I need to take it to black or not, but I'm gonna stop right here. This is like it's more like a milk chocolate color. that I'm happy with. Took me about 20 minutes to get it to this color. I don't know if that's too long or not, but that's what I got. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take it out of the skillet and put it in another container. The stock is still going. I'm going to go ahead and give that a quick stir after this. And then I'm just going to wait until the stock is completely done before I move on to the next point. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to drain this off, pour this off into another container and let it sit. And then just wait. Okay, stay tuned, YouTube. Alright, YouTube, it's now time to put all of this together. What I have here is my roux from earlier. I'm going to go ahead and pour all of this chocolate looking goodness in to our pot. I had the settings on the stove set for low. Just gonna give it a quick stir. And then I already have my mirepoix, my onion, celery, green pepper, and a little bit of garlic already chopped up. I'm gonna go ahead and add this to this now. Go ahead and stir that in. Alright, I'll be back once this starts to begin to get a little bit heated and starts to once it gets heated and the onions begin to become translucent. I'll be back. Okay, this is starting to simmer. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is add my sausage to it. I have some Andouille sausage. Go ahead and add that. That's one whole piece. Let's go and get that mixed up in here. We're gonna let this go for a couple of minutes and I'll be back shortly, okay? Alright, YouTube, to this I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that seafood stock to it. And I forgot this pan burns, so I got to constantly keep stirring when you put stuff in it. If it's not water, if it ain't just plain old water, this thing burns. So I need to get rid of this pot. First 2 cups of seafood stock. We're going to make 4. Let's go ahead and stir this. Alright, I'll be back when it's time for the next piece. Alright, YouTube, I may have messed up. I tasted some of the broth and it got a burnt taste to it, so I may have burnt the roux during the process, but I'm this far in it now. I can't toss it all out, so just gonna forge on the best way we know how. It does need some seasoning to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a tablespoon of Old Bay. I said I'll just say a half a tablespoon for now. And then I'm gonna do a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. add in 2 bay leaves. If I can find some big ones. 1. That makes 2. I guess we'll say 3. These are kind of small. 3 bay leaves. And then some Gumbo File or Gumbo File, whatever it is. I'm gonna say a half a tablespoon of this. All right. Just gonna get it all a good mix. On going. Alright YouTube, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is add my shelled crabs. This is like, I think it's 2.5 pounds of red crab. I was hoping for either some blues or some snow crabs, but the store didn't have them. All they had was these red crabs, and I've only had red crab once. Now, one time I did have it, and I wasn't a big fan of it myself, but this is the only crab that was on hand at that time. They do have some nice looking claws. I'm not sure if I need to puncture any holes in it. See if the gumbo juice get into it. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these in, then let this go for another 8 to 10 minutes. Then should be a few more ingredients left, and that should be about it for this gumbo. All right, see you shortly. All right, YouTube, we're just about at the end of this. What's going in now is more crab meat. This is claw meat. Like I said in my crab ball video, today I went looking for crab meat. All I could find was just claw. I didn't find no Backfin. Hopefully this brand won't have as many shells in it as that other one. I'm gonna dump that in, break it up. Yeah, we're gonna add our shrimp. I have 1.5 pounds of 1620 shrimp that we're going to go ahead and put in. And give it about 5 to 6 more minutes. I'm just say round it up to 10. And it should be good to go. Alright, about 10 more minutes YouTube, and I'll be back. Alright YouTube, it's been a long process, but here we are with it. Now it's a little bit more watery than I probably added too much liquid. I wanted it to be a little bit more thicker, but we'll see. So we go. Get a piece of shrimp, piece of sausage. All right, cheers. So for me, what I think I would do for my particular bowl, because Joanne don't want no heat, I'm going to just add a dash of white pepper to it. Just add a little back end heat. The broth tastes a whole lot better than when I initially tasted. And I told you I had a burnt taste. I guess after adding the seasonings and all that stuff, the taste went away. It don't taste burnt like it did at first. Pick out the bay leaf. But this is my first attempt at trying to make gumbo fully from scratch instead of just getting the box and adding the stuff to it. So, got some tweaking to do, but for the most part, it ain't gonna stop me from eating it. I'm gonna enjoy it. So, as you can see, I'm not giving it a rave review. I think it could have been better. If I do it again, next time I do this, I'm gonna decrease the amount of liquid that I have in it, just to add a little bit more kick to it. Alright YouTube, this is Kirby. You're watching Kirby Q. Thank you for watching. Alright, as you saw in that video, one of the things that I did want the gumbo to be was a little bit thicker. To me, I wanted the sauce to be a tad bit thicker. It was real thin and runny. Taken that I probably added too much stock for what I was preparing. Maybe the next time I cook it, I'll cut back on some of the stock that goes into it and goes into the mix. This other thing that I did not like about this attempt was the roux that I made. As I shared in the video, it seemed like initially had a burnt taste to it, but it went away. Seriously, there was no, even though this segment of the video is made almost a week later after I made the gumbo, and a couple of different people have eaten it, and of course they enjoyed it and thought it was a good gumbo, thought it was good. But what I didn't like was that the roux seemed to separate, that the oil, as you know, oil and water don't mix. So when I added the stock to it, the oil that was in the roux surfaced to the top, and some of the roux seemed to be in clumps within the gumbo afterwards. And so one of the things that I might try to do the next time is maybe drain the oil off. I don't know if you make gumbo a lot. Let me know what your take is on getting the oil out of the roux. Is it supposed to be, well, maybe I didn't well blend it or whatever. Just let me know in the comments below what what your technique is in making the roux and getting the oil and flour and everything to stay together once you combine your stock or liquid chicken stock or whatever to the gumbo. And I believe those are my only two critiques about me making it this time. And it was too thin, and that the roux seemed to fall apart. Not right after it came out the pot, but like the next day I could see the roux in little clumps and stuff like that, which I just got, if next time I make it, hopefully the next time I make it again, I'll know how to fix that. So that was how that was my lessons learned portion of this. So I want to thank you for sticking around and watching this long. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all 20 of my viewers who watch every video. I appreciate you guys, gals, and for sticking around and checking out my stuff. I'm not trying to get rich off of YouTube. I just like trying to share what little bit of knowledge I have about barbecue and my experience with barbecue. But anyway, thank you to you 20 guys and gals that keep watching my videos. Alright, that being said, once again, if you like what you saw, share it with a friend and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Again, share with me some of your tips and tricks in making a roux and making gumbo. What's your preferred method? And also, if you aren't a subscriber, hit that subscribe button And be sure to hit that notification bell, hit all, so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And with that being said, ladies and gents, light your pits, fire for effect. God bless you, and have a great day.